First of all, thank you, Mr. Rajeev, for joining this, conversation. Um, I read the report about, C-suite hiring and ROI and things like that. So a few things caught my attention. So I thought it's best to discuss it with you. So what I was
Andy.
thinking was to begin with, when it comes to C-suite hiring, ROI isn't always about numbers. Sometimes it's also about, culture, vision, or even trust. So, how do you suggest
Yeah.
that companies strike the right balance between tangible results and these softer intangible returns?
Everybody who is hiring a CEO, anybody who's hiring a CEO, needs to know what does he want from the person. There has to be if you have read my article, you have my article in front of you.
No, I don't.
Have you got my article? Okay. In that article, I have very clearly defined what is the investment. What what are we talking about when we are talking about investment? Because when you're saying return on investment, you must know what is the investment you're making and what is the return you are expecting. Okay, what I was saying is that when you're talking of ROI, return on investment, there is a very clear investment an organization makes to hire a CEO. This is the time spent and the amount of money that you spend on hiring or getting a new CEO. If you're going to a search firm, there's a payment to be made to the search firm. Then you're bringing in a CEO, you do an induction, you spend a lot of time in trying to group. So there is an investment done, which I've described this thing. Now the return, what are you expecting in return? Every organization, when they hire a CEO, is looking at a specific thing from the person that you're looking for. A company may be losing market share, a company may be launching a new product, a company may want to grow. The current CEO may not have all those things. So you have to clearly define what returns are you expecting. Okay, they may be tangible, they may be non-tangible, whatever it is. Non-tangible is things like culture, creating a leadership pipeline, creating a better relationship with your customers. The old CEO has not been able to do. So there's a whole, sometimes the investments, when you're making an investment in a company, it depends on who the CEO is. If there is a CEO who has got a track record, the company believes more in the company and then they make the money. So that is the tangible and the non-tangible, which is defined very clearly. And then the company measures is how much have we entered. Supposing the company is looking to grow the market share from, let's say, 300 crores to 700 crores. So they measure against this is one thing, that what was the type of growth they created? What sort of a leadership pipeline is the person supposed to create? Have you created better relationship with the customer? So all these things are the returns that they are expecting. Now, how you measure it? You said, how do you measure all this? Some things are tangible. You can make out, I took my growth from here to here, I took my market share from here to here. I have written down in that article that there is a net promoter score, which is a company goes through. A net promoter score is, supposing you are my customer, you are one of my customers, and I asked you one simple question. How likely are you to promote me or my services or my product to somebody else?
Mm.
That is called NPS, Net Promoter Score. Now, if you are saying very high, 9 to 10, then you are a promoter of my company. If you are a middle path, I'm okay, but I'm not going to be sitting and recommending you. And then you have people who are absolutely not interested in your this thing. So you give your customer and you measure the score. How much? There's a very simple question. There's something called Net Promoter Score. And based on that, you come to know whether the company, what it was before, what was the NPS before, and what is the NPS afterwards. You can even have negative NPS, which
Yeah.
means there are less people likely to promote you, and more people are likely to not promote you or be neutral. So
Mhm.
that is how you measure how the value of what the CEO has brought into your this thing. That's one way of measuring, where your company stands. You understand? Rest is, of course, what are you expecting from your company? Now, if you have read today's newspaper, I'll give you an example. Uh, Rapido has entered the market of four-wheelers. They have eaten 30% into Uber and Ola. 30% of the market. It's a new. Now, Uber and Ola had 50% market share. 30% of that market share has been taken away by Rapido. Now, unless the current CEO is able to regain the share or regain, because they've lost investment, then they will look for a CEO who can do this. The
Yeah.
market is a so they can do this. Somebody in Rapido has signed up with the cab drivers in a different model than what Ola was paying. And now Uber, which has been there for so many years, is following what Rapido is paying. The same formula they are following. They had a different sharing. So somebody smart enough there has changed the model on which they're paying. So now they want a CEO which has to do. You know, Hindustan Levers in 2 years, India, in 2 years they grew by 2%. They sacked the CEO and they
Hmm.
brought Priya Rao from London as the new CEO. Now she is shaken up the market, that she's shaken up the organization and everything. And this, they must have given her a target that this is what we have to achieve. We have to increase our growth because we have been stagnant. 2% growth in 2 years for Hindustan Lever is very less.
Hmm.
And you will find that if she is successful and how you, right, is if she beats the market trend of 2% and you improves the growth. So the what the outcome is expected from a CEO has to be clearly defined. You must be told what outcome you expected, and you as the owner, suppose you are the owner of the company, has to define the profile of a CEO who you think can do this. When you're looking as a promoter, you also have to see that this is my problem. Which type of person can come in and do this for me? Look at all airlines. All the airlines are going through a bad time, running into losses.
Yeah.
On top of that, you have Indigo, which is minting money. Indigo is minting, it's cash rich. And they brought in Aditya Ghosh. Aditya Ghosh, there is a turnaround time, there's a turnaround times of flights and everything. He changed the whole model of turnaround time. He changed the model of wet leasing. And that guy is now, of course, he's promoter of Akasa Airways, and he's a CEO and he has left Indigo. But he made Indigo, I mean, you can measure what he did to Indigo.
Yeah.
So you have to define what are you expecting, what is your company going through, what is it, going to do. You are a newspaper, Deccan Chronicle, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is a paper called DNA.
Hmm.
Are you aware?
Yes, yes, of
DNA,
course.
DNA has a history. Wherever state they launch, whichever state, Gujarat, Rajasthan, even in Punjab, in the first year they became the number one paper
Yeah.
circulation. They
Hmm.
launched in Punjab. They beat Punjab Kesari, which was there for 20 years, in the first year. How do they do it? There is a CEO or there's somebody who's leading the company. So, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You have to first set a target of what this guy is expected to do. What are the challenges that you're facing? And based on that, you have to give your CEO the create mandate. You have to explain to him under what limitations will he be working, how our investor relations has to go up, how our external stakeholders relationships have to change. And based on that, you see when he came in and when he went out, what or after 1 year or 2 years of joining, all the things that you were looking for, how much has he been able to achieve?
Yeah.
Are you getting the point?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
So that is what return on investment means as far as C-suite people or CXOs are concerned. It could be a marketing guy, it could be a CEO, it could be head of IT, it could be a transformational leader, one of the CXOs.
I mean, even if, C-suite leaders were, I mean, some good hires, and they've been given entrusted with the task of quick wins, and but they have to also be shaping the long-term strategies, right? When
Yeah,
the companies are, organizations set KPIs for them, how do you do it? How do you think they should do it without overwhelming them? Because they've just taken charge, but they have something to deliver because they've been hired at a very high price, and everything comes at a price for them, for the
yes,
company. Yeah, how do they do
yeah.
that?
So no, so see, every promoter of a company, or if it's an MNC, the people who are sitting outside, whoever is the man sitting at the top, the chairman, he has to define the KPI.
Hmm.
Key performance indicators, that this will be the indicators on which your performance will indicate. I mean, you look at any appraisal form, those are the KPIs on which you're going to be measured. If I have to hire you as a CEO, if I show you my appraisal form, it contains all the KPIs that I'm looking at from you. So
Hmm.
you have to define the KPIs as the owner, that these are the KPIs that you need to achieve to be able to achieve what I want to do. I mean, you want to expand, you must have the money.
Yeah.
If you want to have the expand, you must have the money. If you want to expand a product, you must have manufacturing units. If you don't have manufacturing units to expand, then you have to create manufacturing units. Are you aware?
Yeah.
If you want to expand geographies, or you want to expand and introduce new product range. All those, see, supposing you want to expand your business, you can either do by increasing the geographical reach of your products. You have the same product, you're making biscuit, and you can expand by increasing and going into different markets. You go deep into south, you go deep into north, you go into northeast country, wherever you go, you increase the geography. Or you increase your size by adding the number of products.
Hmm.
If you are going to add with biscuits, you're going to add bread, and you're going to add milk, or you are going to add more products. So those KPIs will be defined by you. How do you want that market to expand? Each has a different challenge. You understand?
Yeah.
When you are increasing geography, you have to increase the number of stockists, increase the number of dealers, because you have to acquire new dealers in new market. You are moving into a new geography. But if you are adding new products, then your existing people has to stock that product. So the difference is very different. So you have to lay down the KPI, the people who are the promoter. If it's a promoter-driven company or an organization who's based in US or UK or overseas, they define what do they want to do. It is there that homework has to be done by the owner. He must be very clear on what he wants to do, what type of person he wants. He has to define the job description of the person, and he has to identify the attributes the person will have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you one example. You're a big organization, you're working from office. You have an HR person who's managing people in office.
Hmm.
And then after COVID, people went home. People were working from remote. And then after 2 years, it was hybrid working. Some people working from home, some people working remotely, some people coming to office, or some people coming 3 days to office, 3 days. When your entire way of attending office is concerned, or you are working from remote, you need an HR manager now who can manage your new way of working.
Hmm.
Now, your current HR guy may not have the capability. You're going to hire people remotely, you're going to onboard them remotely, you're going to appraise them remotely, you're going to monitor them remotely. If he is not able to do, your owner has to tell me that this is the type of CEO I'm looking, somebody or the head of HR I'm looking, who can manage a workforce remotely. Because when you're working remotely, where is the culture? How do you expose your people to culture? Culture is people, no? Your people
Yeah.
are not coming to office, they're sitting and working from home. So how do you showcase your culture? And that HR person that they hire, they have to define what is his KPI. Otherwise, he'll also come and fail.
True. Yeah.
So are
Also,
you getting my point? Am I
yeah.
clear?
Yes,
Ah,
yes, yes, yes.
hmm,
Also, Grassik Search
hmm.
must have placed leaders across diverse industries, right? From your experience and
Yeah.
probably perspective, what are some of the most overlooked attributes that often end up being the real drivers of return on investment in senior leadership roles?
See, I'll tell you, in India, there is a big problem which is not there in Europe. In America and Europe, in your CV, you are not supposed to mention your age.
Hmm.
Are you aware?
No.
It is illegal to ask a person's age, and it is illegal to get a person to write a sex, whether male or female. You cannot differentiate on age, you cannot differentiate.
Hmm.
Here in India, we look at past performance to gauge the future performance. And that is something which is very wrong.
Yeah.
Because it is not true that a person who has performed in a certain environment may do the same thing in a very different environment. So
True.
the potential part of it, that the potential this person has to learn, potential to grow, is something that we miss out on.
Yeah.
That is one big thing, that the person has a great potential. You can hire a great cook, or you can hire a person who is very fast in learning and who is naturally has got a cooking skills.
Hmm.
India made one of the most famous chefs we have, Chef Garima Arora. You heard of Garima Arora? She's a very famous chef. She's a Michelin star holder. She used to be a journalist.
Wow.
And today she is one of the most celebrated chefs we have. Now, if you look at it from the perspective of a chef, and then she went and did, from the perspective of a journalist, she went and did the chef course and all, and then she became a celebrity chef. So we miss out on the potential part. In America, if you are selling insurance, you can be hired to sell an aeroplane. In our India, you need to be selling aeroplane if you want to sell another aeroplane.
True.
People want from similar background, proven results, they will do a reference check. So supposing I ask somebody, I'm a newspaper, and I ask somebody that I'm hiring a journalist, what do you have to say? He will tell me, this journalist has done this in my company. That's what he can tell me, how successful you
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
But what he should ask me is, Rajiv, what do you want this journalist to do?
Hmm.
Because he was coming at a different role.
Yeah.
And then tell me whether, in his opinion, you will be able to do the role that I am offering you. I don't ask him this. I ask him, how is she in your company?
True.
You are moving for something different. Nah? You are moving for something different. You are
Yeah.
not moving. If you are doing something and I offer you the same thing, why would you come unless I'm a very big name?
Yeah.
My culture is different. You're working in Deccan. You go to Times of India, it works differently. You go to Hindustan Times, it works differently.
Yeah.
So if I am in Hindustan Times and I will ask your boss, listen, I want Rashmi to do this for me. In your opinion, you think she's capable of doing? So our reference checks methods are wrong. And these are old methods, people keep following them.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know, today you are a journalist with or a reporter with the Deccan. You start your own company. You reach certain level. You start your own company, you will become better than the best in your company.
Yeah.
So we miss out on the word potential because people have potential that we don't look at. We only focus on what has he done in the past to gauge whether he can do this in the future.
True. That's a wrong method. The approach itself is wrong.
That's the wrong word. You're losing out on so many good people.
True.
Losing out on so many good people. If you're working in a company which is has curbed your, your decision making is curbed, your action has to be curbed. And I hire you in my company and I give you a free hand. I said, you do what you want, just do it. And suddenly your potential, you start performing differently.
Yeah.
There for every action you will be scared कि मैं ये करूंगी तो मुझे कोई ये बोल देगा यहाँ हो जाएगा wrong. You're scared to do something wrong. And I tell you, I'm giving you a free hand. Do what you want and make me the best. You'll be a different human being.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So one that we miss out in India is to gauge potential. We want people from same FMCG company or same newspaper or same. There are companies which are experimenting now because now we are more focused, now today's world because of technology, we are most focused on skills than we are on education.
Yeah. That's
Today,
right.
nobody is bothered. I'm looking for a CFO for a company, very big company. I'm looking for a CFO. You know what is one criteria? He has to be a first attempter. If he has
Hmm.
cleared in second attempt, they won't look at him. Why? Why? Some of our biggest billionaires of startup companies are school dropout.
Yeah.
Nikhil Kamath of Zerodha is a school dropout. Ritesh Agarwal of this thing is a school dropout. So where is the education coming from?
Yeah. So what worked then conventionally no longer holds good. I mean, the same rule doesn't apply. I still remember,
It doesn't
when
apply.
I probably appeared for an interview, I had to list out my hobbies, what I did, what are the different contests I took part in, what was my participation like, what were my curricular activities, and then actually give them a hard copy of my certificates and probably my mark sheet and everything. So, and you had to be a topper, and then they will consider you, right? And from which college you studied and all that. But right now, nobody is actually checking anybody's scorecard. There is nothing called a scorecard at all.
You look around you, look at the people who are doing extremely well, and
Yeah,
look at where has it come from.
yeah,
You'll have I am passed out guy looking for a job. You're a person who was passed out from you know, a good institute, a good college, good gives you the starting point. After that, people who have never been good in studies are practically ready to grow. A guy who's good in studies may not be good in practical work, and he gets left behind. So today, people that is changing because today the skills are taking over. You need to have certain skills. You need to have skills of even marketing or sales. It's just a skill-based job which are now because of technology. You need skills rather than experience or education.
yeah,
Why do you think you are aware? Last 2 years, IIT had 33% of the people, 2 years running, not picked up at campus. It's unheard of
true.
because they didn't find what they found in smaller colleges. They found smarter people than they found in IIT.
Yeah,
So things are changing. You cannot imagine IIT guy not getting picked up at campus. It was unheard of. Last 2 years, 33% people have been picked up at campus. They may have got a job, but not at campus recruitment. They had to go out and look for a job. Those things are changing now, and we are looking for people with skills. The search has become very different. It has become more difficult because we are also trying to cope up with finding out skills. But that's how the world is.
true. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time and insights.
Welcome anytime.